HarperCollins presents Monstrous Heart by Claire Mckenna. Read by Elaine Claxton. Book 1. Vigil. Chapter 1. It was only when the coastmaster turned to remonstrate the old man struggling to load the Siegfried's voluminous trunk that Arden Beacon seized the moment and made her escape. She sidled behind the wheels of the automobile, a thing callously ostentatious in this wild country, and walked off with such a laboured pretence of a casual stroll that it could not be seen as anything but. With each step, she feared Coastmaster Justinian's realization that she was not waiting patiently for him, but had instead slipped his leash. A sharp turn at a bluestone wall, and then Arden was free. Out of his sight, she felt overcome with relief, and had to lean against the salt-scored stones and gulp chilly air before she felt remotely whole again. Had it been so long since she wasn't confined like a criminal under house arrest that she didn't know quite what to do with herself? This was the first time since she'd arrived in Vigil that Mr. Justinian had allowed her out of the manse, his huge family estate that overlooked the small, coarse coastal town. The instinct to make a sudden getaway had come with such an awful slug of panic, she'd almost been inclined not to move at all. Hadn't he told her it was dangerous? Hadn't he told her? But he'd spent a month telling her these things about Vigil, and her thudding heart and acid stomach were evidence enough of the contempt she held for Mr. Justinian, the man who was both the master of the coast and her employer. He had made it clear he wanted to be more to her, still. Arden shuddered. Still, forced to endure his hospitality, Arden had observed Mr. Justinian with a calculating eye, and taken his measure. She discovered that foremost her host had a predilection towards causing humiliation. It delighted him to be petty and mean. And so she had grasped the opportunity to be well away from him while his voice still remained fixated on castigating the poor elderly porter. "You fool, you'll break every dish in that trunk. Put some backbone into it, Guy, or I'll have the magistrate charge you with the damage." Mr. Justinian would be occupied for quite a while longer. Arden straightened her jacket and skirts and looked down a street undergoing some kind of market day. Market day was trading day in this town, where even the dread sea serpent Maris anguis could find itself pickled in salt and up for sale with the lumpfish. The siren song of trade brought the coastal dwellers out of their hamlets and huts, hauling with them their spoils of the sea. A row of trestle tables fronted anonymous doorways. Each table was topped with the ocean's produce, laid out like a museum of grotesque curiosities. For every recognizable ichthyosaur in a zinc tub filled with ice, there bobbed something ghastly and incomprehensible. Fish with 10 eyes, a barnacle the size of a woman's torso. Arden set off, searching for the experience that would make her brief sojourn into freedom worthwhile, and instead found to her sinking disappointment that her host had not lied to her. Vigil was both grim and drab in appearance and utility. An oily yellow mist shrouded the slate roofs and slunk about the chimney pots, giving everything a murky air. The cold air had a burned and salty miasma, despite it having drizzled earlier. Arden startled at the tootling of foghorns as the fishing boats came into the harbour. People wore the odd uniform of the shore, salt country linens dipped in flaxseed oil and fish tallow, shirt collars embellished in bleached thread, plain hog-wool jumpers knitted thick and warm. All this strangeness, but no real sense of blood, no impression of the power that eddied and washed through her own hot northern country like a tide of whispers.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?